Honourable members' prayers. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, I will indulge you to skip item 2. We don't have message from the President, and there's no formal communication from the Speaker. So let me crave your indulgence to turn to item 5. Item 5. Correction of votes and proceedings, and that of the official report. We start with votes and proceedings, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page number 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page number 11. Page number 12. Page number 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page number 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page number 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page number 27. Page 28. Page 29. Page 30. Page number 31. Page number 32. Page number 33. Yes, Honourable Member for Tamale South.
33, item 47, Mr. Speaker, the record is the only royalties we get when we take part in the consideration of bills. The amendment in clause 70 was my amendment. The Honorable and herefore stood up to support my amendment, and now I see him owning it. Indeed, the committee itself and its members, this had escaped them, and they passed 70 as it was until I drew attention. So give me my deserved royalties with recognition appropriately. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well. So if I understand you, you were the owner of the amendment. Oh, okay. Okay. So table, kindly take note of that. Let's turn to page 34. Page 35. Page 36. Page number 37. Page 38. Page number 39. And finally, page 40. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Thursday, the 11th July 2024, is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, let's turn to item 6. Business statement for the ensuing 6th week. Let me invite the Majority Chief Whip. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, may I seek your leave to present the business statement in the absence of the Leader of the House?
Very well. Leave granted, but before I will allow you, just get somebody to be the variable leader because you come to the podium. Yes. And before you take the podium, kindly indulge me to acknowledge our children at the public gallery. We have Pro-Divine Mission School. They are being led by Jake Tete, who is the director of the school, and the school is located at Pond Katamanso constituency. I hope the MP is here. Well, your MP is not yet in. So you may resume your seat. The second school is High Speed Schools Limited. High Speed Schools Limited. And they are here being led by Forgive Aipa, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Trouble constituency. So you may also resume your seat. And the third school is BT Institute. Yes, they are being led by Caleb Behede, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Ayawaso West Wagon constituency. So you may resume your seat. We appreciate you. I hope you will learn what goes on here, and that will urge you to go and study hard so that tomorrow you'll come and take over from us if we are not here. You are once again welcome. Yes, leader, let me welcome you to the podium now.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. The Speaker, the business statement met Thursday, the 11th, and has programmed businesses to be prosecuted for the ensuing week. So I know 66 questions have been admitted and advertised. Out of the 66, 6 of them are urgent questions, and 60 of them are oral questions. Speaker may take statements, bills may be taken, motions and their consequential resolutions may also be taken. Speaker, the Business Committee has scheduled Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, where the Administrator, the District Assembly Common Fund, and the Minister of Finance is expected to apprise members on relevant developments. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Education, the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations are also scheduled to brief the House on strike action by the lecturers of College of Education. The Minister for Employment and Labour Relations would also apprise the House on the strike action by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, the CLOSAC. Speaker, the Business Committee takes this opportunity to give prior notice to honourable members that the Minister for Finance is expected to present the media review of the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year 2024 financial year on Tuesday, 23rd July. In the face of the volume of work, we are expected to have extended sitting. Speaker, let me conclude that we are also scheduled to take our democracy cup on Wednesday, and it's expected that crowds of folk and a select side of Parliament will be having a caterator. So we want to extend invitation to the generality of the Ghanaian populace and the entire members of Parliament to participate in this important game. So let me invite Hansard to capture the entire report. I thank you.
Yes, honourable members, the business statement for the 6th week has been read to us by the Majority Chief Whip. If there's any member who has got any concerns to raise, the floor will be given to the person. So let me invite the honourable member that Honourable Yabuama is asking him to sit down. Honourable Dafiamapo, you may have the floor now.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to comment on the business statements presented by my leader, the Majority Whip, on behalf of the Leader of the House for business for next week. Mr. Speaker, this is the umpteenth time that I am urging leadership to invite the Electoral Commissioner to come brief the House on the just ended limited registration, 2, transfer of votes, 3, compilation of the proxy list, and above all, the mop-up that they intend to undertake sometime 3 weeks from now. The Speaker, particularly because of the peculiar difficulties we had in conducting these activities in our respective constituencies. Mr. Speaker, for the fact that MPs as stakeholders contributed immeasurably, the activities would have failed. because we have had to transport people from long distances for them to register. So we need to be briefed. Equipment also failed, so we need to be briefed as stakeholders. So there's the need for the Electoral Commissioner and her team to come and brief us. Mr. Speaker, too. Speaker, just earlier this week, the very important matter of the fact that the Ministry of Education, through the agency under it, the Ghana Education Service, rolled out what they call recruitment of teachers who graduated and have successfully obtained their licenses or passed their licensure exams. Mr. Speaker, one, the rollout is online. This is business statement. Business statement is at large. The Honorable Minister of State and the Ministry of Finance is at large. Mr. Speaker, so we're hoping that members raised the issue last week regarding the fact that the portal didn't capture their district. Indeed, Southern has not been captured. Mr. Speaker, when you go onto the portal, you can't find Southern in order to indicate that you want to be posted to Southern. It's not there. So we're hoping that the ministry, the minister would have been summoned to come and address committee of the whole. There's nothing of that sort, Mr. Speaker. And the time frame for applying is limited.
Honorable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Let me guide you. I think for the past 2 weeks, almost every member who have filed an urgent question has been responded to. I mean, I deliberately decided to process all the questions that has been put by members. So this issue you are raising, I think it can best be addressed by an urgent question.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. I thank you because a week today, the member for Central Town raised this matter, and he was advised to file an urgent question. Mr. Speaker, it's been 8 days since. So I am of the humble view that summoning the minister to come address the House on Tuesday is the quicker route to tackling this matter. Because as we speak, my district is not captured. So the newly passed or licensed teachers who intends to be recruited can't be posted to Southern because there's no option for it. And Mr. Speaker, two, the teachers are telling us that those of them who passed out in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022 have been left out. And they are recruiting teachers who passed out.
Honorable member, I appreciate where you are coming from, but I think we cannot address that issue here. Already, the leadership of the business committee didn't include that. So just file.
So, Mr. Speaker, so the gravamen of what I'm asking is that the minister should be made to come and address the committee of the whole on Tuesday. That's what I'm saying. But I'm laying the foundation. So it should come. Mr. Speaker, third. Speaker, I have to say, I am scandalized that we have a cafeteria nicely done, renovated, and yet we cannot permit the cafeteria to be used, and that members are eating in. I mean, Mr. Speaker, whom are we waiting for the place to be commissioned? Mr. Speaker, please, we want leadership to direct that the cafeteria be open for members to take their coffee, especially when we are going to do extended sitting from Monday. We'll be leaving here at 11 p.m. and members will be expected to be alert on their feet and be able to scrutinize documents as they present them. We need to drink coffee, and we need to drink coffee from the new cafeteria.
Well noted, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, finally. Mr. Speaker, finally, we have over 867 referrals before committees, Mr. Speaker. Per the business release for this meeting, we have over 867 referrals before committees. And within this short period, more referrals have been made before committees. A lot of committee chairmen, Mr. Speaker, are not attending upon the business of the house. They are roaming, they are not around. They should summon committee meetings so that we can deal with the referrals. Yes. Mr. Speaker, where are they? Mr. Speaker, this side, we are ready to become chairman of the committees so we can push government if they are not interested. So they should summon committee meetings so we can conduct committee business and bring the referrals as directed by Speaker. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go to Bia. Is it Bia West? Honorable Dr. August Interior.
Mr. Speaker, it's Bia West for good. Yes. Mr. Speaker, leader indicated that the committee of the whole, we will have the Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance in relation to the striking tutors of the colleges of education. At the point when this came to the attention of the House, it was indicated that the Minister for Education should have addressed the House, and he indicated it was the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. So your good self made the decision that all three of them should come together. In the report here, it indicates the Minister of State for Finance. Mr. Speaker, we have 12,000 students of the colleges of education who are still at home. So the seriousness we attach to this issue, we will expect that all the three ministers will appear so that all of them will be around the table and the issues could be discussed. So I'm concerned about only one minister for finance.
Honorable Teria, you are saying all the three ministers from the finance ministry must be here.
Mr. Speaker, that was your direction, and that was the direction. If I'm wrong, the leaders can explain it, because that was what each of them is trying to pass the buck. The Minister of Education was in the chamber when this was discussed, and he indicated it was the Minister for Employment Relations. Then it was directed that all three of them should appear so that whatever it is, because part of it is educational issue, part of it is finance, part of it is the collective agreement. So the constellation of all three will give us an opportunity to really understand what's going on, and we want our students back in the school.
Very well.
This must be done, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Yes. Let me.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Just to emphasize and encourage the leader available, I see Deputy Leader has come, that the matter of CLOSAC, civil service workers who are on strike, and that of those in the teacher training colleges, Mr. Speaker, they all border on labor relations. But as Dr. Tewia have observed, compensation management is a finance function, and therefore the Minister for Finance will be critical to understanding the problem and resolving the problem. So it will be ideal that when the Minister for Employment is appearing before the House, he is accompanied at least by the Minister for Finance or his representative responsible for compensation. I do not see why we should separate the meetings. Once we have them here, let them discuss the teacher education workers who are on strike, together with CLOSAC. Mr. Speaker, and this House must treat this matter urgently, because for CLOSAC, all the institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies that serve the citizens of Ghana, many issues are at a halt or standstill. Nothing is going on at the ministry. So if you are a contractor, a private sector person waiting for your payment, because that letter cannot move, because a civil servant is on strike, or even if you are to win a contract, sign a contract, because they are not at post, is affecting those categories. Then, Mr. Speaker, my second is on what was raised on the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, we have a crucial presidential and parliamentary elections on 7th December. It is not just the Electoral Commission we want. The Inspector General of Police, together with the Minister for Interior, must also come to this House, because when we adjourn, we'll all be in the field battling for survival, battling for our seats, battling for the presidency. The Inspector General of Police, supported by the Minister for Interior, will also have to come and brief this House on their preparedness for the deployment of security to supervise the elections and to keep the elections away from fear and intimidation. So beyond the Electoral Commission, we would need the Inspector General of Police to come to this House to also tell us. Then, Mr. Speaker, on the Electoral Commission, I see the Honorable Anodam Brian Ahmed, they serve on the committee. With the EC, why Parliament must hear them, it would be ideal that we hear them even before mid-year review of the budget, so that we have an understanding what is their financial requirement for the conduct of the presidential and parliamentary elections. Has government met them adequately, reasonably? Halfway, we need to know. We don't want an instance where the EC will say, we are faltering, we are not living up to our constitutional mandate because there has been no releases from the Ministry of Finance, or what we have requested or demanded has not been provided. This is very critical for the protection of our democracy. And therefore, the EC must come before mid-year review so that we know what is their financial outlay. What is it that the Ministry of Finance can do? Because, Mr. Speaker, we know that many warrants are sitting at the Comptroller and Accountant General, not being honored because of the struggling economy. I thank you, Mr.
Speaker. Yes, let me look here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance has been programmed to present the mid-year review budget on Tuesday, 23rd July 2024. Mr. Speaker, I believe it's going to be one of the most important items for the ensuing week. Mr. Speaker, the upper week, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians will be upbeat to hear about progress on the Accra, very important Accra-Kumasi Highway, the Tema-Akosombo Highway, the Adenta-Dodowa Highway, and the Tema-Pram Highway. It's called Kaswa to Winneba stretch. Mr. Speaker, we believe that those are very important projects that government is undertaking to change the face of our infrastructure and our road network. And we want to sound a word of notice to the Ministry of Finance that Ghanaians would want to hear some positive injections to those projects to ease traffic congestion, Mr. Speaker. Those are major achievements of the Akufo-Addo administration. And we want to entreat the Minister of Finance that we'll be listening with open ears and all the attention that it requires. And we will ensure that government is supported to complete those very important projects to ensure that the party regains power come the 2024 general election. I thank you very much, sir.
The lady first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to draw attention to the fact that the Parliamentary Friendship Association that we formed some months ago, we had a list of the leadership. We had a list of the leadership, but till now we haven't received the full list of the various members who belong to these friendship associations. We were told that many of us chose the US, Canada, UK, and some other countries, that the members were too many for those countries. But we don't know, members do not know whether there have been changes as to the countries that they chose. So it will be very prudent if leadership can furnish us with a list of the friendship associations so that we know which of these associations that we belong to. That's what I want to draw attention to.
Very well, thank you. Yes, let me come to Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, in March of this year, about 61,000 depositors of funds with Black Shield Capital Fund Limited, the defunct Black Shield Capital Fund Limited, which later became Gold Coast Fund Management, petitioned this House through my good self, and this House set up a committee chaired by Honorable Joe Gatti. And the committee did hold public hearings, invited all the parties, including the Deputy Minister of Finance, Registrar General's Office, all the interested parties, Securities and Exchange Commission, and at the end of it, the committee promised to use the recess period after March to finalize its report and bring the report to us during the second week of the second sitting of this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, we are in July, and the committee has not yet submitted its report to this August House. So I want to urge you and urge leadership to schedule the chair of the committee and make it an important piece of the agenda next week for the report to be submitted. This House must be seen to be responsive to the plight of our citizens when they petition us and we do carry out investigations. They need to see that we take their concerns seriously. That is why I think that next week we must have the report. It must reflect on the agenda of this House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very, very much. Honorable, do you want to respond to what you've heard so far so that we come back? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I recall the Honorable Dafemeko. This is the second time he's speaking to the call for us to invite the EC. I want to assure him that leadership, and if I say leadership, both of us will work on it to have some confirmed dates, because the practice has been that table office will have to write to the commissioner or the commission, and she will often have to get back to us for a date to be confirmed. That is when we can program the commission duly in the business statement. But it's a valid observation, and I will want to assure my colleague that it's something we are going to pick up. He also related to a number of concerns at the Ministry of Education. I think they are very fluid concerns on recruitment and all that. Already, as he's aware, we have programmed the Minister for Education to appear before us on an equally important matter. What we will do is to relate same matter as you raised to him and check if it is possible for him to deal with the striking lecturers and the matter you raised as well. And not forgetting the peculiar concerns relating to your constituency. Speaker, again, he raised the matter on the cafeteria. Clearly, it falls under the purview of the House Committee. And the leadership of the House Committee, as we all do know, is the whips. So myself and my colleague, the Honorable Governs, will take the matter up. If it is the case that work has been brought to a completion, and we should know the reasons why the place is not being used. So we'll get back to him. He concluded on a number of referrals that are still outstanding, and he made a comment that their side is ready to prosecute business. I can assure him that we are also ready. The challenge, Speaker, I must admit, the challenge has been this uncertainty about our committees. Thankfully, the Committee of Selection have finished its work. The report was laid yesterday. We have scheduled to take the motion on, to our intents and purposes, Monday. So I'm sure once we have our committees in place, some of these concerns will be dealt with dispatch. The Honorable Haruna Idrisu related to two issues, the EC, and he made the point which I couldn't have agreed more with him, that if the EC has to appear, it must be before the presentation of the media. I think he's spot on, and it's not a matter that has to be elucidated further on. He also spoke to the IGP and the Minister of Interior. I think that we still have some months to election. So, do not hire Idris with the greatest of respect. Maybe we should deal with the EC matter first on funding and other arrangements that are germane to the prosecution of their work. And then, as the days go by, we can look at whether or not the IGP and the Minister of Interior would have to come and speak to us on security issues. I'm sure my senior colleague agrees with me. The Honorable Helen Tosu related to friendship associations. And Speaker, she sought to know if the membership had been changed. I recall the leader, when he was deputy leader, was in charge of the friendship associations. So I'm unable to speak to the matter. What I can assure you is that I'll relate to now leader of government business, and then I will personally come and brief you on same matter. Speaker, on the Honorable Ayariga's concern, today I spoke to the Honorable Jogate on same matter, so we are equally concerned. And he had confirmed that the report is done, so it should be programmed accordingly. We had a meeting this morning. Unfortunately, we had the business committee earlier, so the business committee was not aware if the report was ready or not. So we'll make sure the said report is programmed to be taken next week, as soon as possible. I cannot agree more with the Honorable Yabuama, who related to major infrastructure projects that is expected to feature in the media. He shouldn't worry. I know all the major projects. For instance, the Accra to Unsaom to Kumasi, which goes through my constituency, will surely feature. We have never reneged on our promise, and I know these and many others, including the 1D, 1F, the Agenda 111, all will reflect, same will reflect. So, the Honorable Yabuama shouldn't worry at all. Speaker, to the best of my memory, I have dealt with the issues raised by
Thank you very much.
My colleagues.
Thank you very much. Ahmed, let me go round and come back. So let me come to Busa South.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by commending leadership for finally giving us a specific day that we can expect the matter to do with the striking lecturers of the colleges of education to be addressed, with the hope that we will find a solution sooner than later. Mr. Speaker, the strike action has entered its third week. Next week will be 4 weeks. And that is very worrying and disturbing. Not just the financial fallout from the students having to be in school and to feed themselves, yet without the advantage of receiving tutoring from their lecturers. But it's also the potential of this strike offsetting and dislodging the academic calendar. So whilst I commend leadership, I must express my disappointment. I believe that as representatives of the people, we are obligated and empowered to hold duty bearers accountable on behalf of the people. This strike is going to enter its 4th week, and it's in the 4th week that we are going to get responses from duty bearers. Because Ghanaians don't look kindly on us because of some of these deficiencies on our part. This issue, we should have dealt with it, heard from the ministers, the solution should have been found. And let me hope that leadership would walk the talk. So we don't want to come here on Tuesday and then suddenly the ministers are not present to address this issue. Mr. Speaker, the second matter, as far as I am concerned, has to do with questions that were admitted and advertised 2 weeks ago, last week, this week. The ministers were not in the House to respond to those questions, and specifically questions directed to the Minister for Education. Sadly, I looked at the business statement for the ensuing week, and all the questions directed at the Minister for Education have vamoosed. Mr. Speaker, they are no longer captured. How can that be possible? At a time like this, with all the challenges we have in the educational sector. So, leadership, I plead with you to reconsider, because some of the matters are urgent and time sensitive. And I don't know the justification as to why the questions have been admitted, advertised for the past 2 weeks, and the ensuing week, suddenly they have disappeared. Please, I'm on my knees. This country's educational system is on the verge of a crisis, and we need to rescue it. My fellow Vandal says I should kneel down. He knows what we do in Commonwealth. I so submit. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let me go to Wa East. Wa West. Okay.
Wa West. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me thank leadership for the good job done. Look at the business statement, Mr. Speaker. I realize that the Minister of Interior is slated to be in the House next week to answer about 6 questions. Mr. Speaker, something is happening in the country that everybody is getting worried. In the air, there is sound of recruitment. If you go to the police training school now, as I speak to you, there are young men and women who are there hoping to go through medical examination. This is the first time I am hearing that when you talk about recruitment, it starts with medicals. It has never happened in history. Mr. Speaker, I filed an agent question. And I'm surprised to look through this document and I can't find it. Either it was not admitted, or it was admitted and found not suitable to be answered. I would want clarity and guidance. Probably if you can do that during the Committee of the Whole, I would appreciate it. But the people of Ghana are waiting to hear something from the Minister of Interior regarding the current recruitment stories all over the space of the media. Thank you.
Well. Yes. So I'm going this way. Let me come to Honorable Kujato Abrakwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you'll recall that last week I submitted, after the presentation of the business statement, that I had picked intelligence that the VRA will be spilling soon from the Akosombo Dam. Later that day, in the evening, the VRA put out a statement confirming that they are about to spill. Indeed, they have begun stakeholder consultations in our communities to prepare the minds of those of us who live near the Akosombo Dam to get ready for another spillage. Mr. Speaker, it's with a heavy heart that I remind you and this House that it's been 10 good months since the September 15 spillage, which unleashed untold disaster, devastation. More than 60,000 people were displaced. In my constituency, more than 12,000 people. 10 months, we filed a motion. The Speaker assured us that there will be a committee of inquiry so that, most importantly, we learn lessons. I'm not even too fixated on any sanctions or punishment per se. That's not our interest, really. Best practice all over the world, when disasters of this nature occur, they carry out a probe so that it will lead to institutional reforms. So there will be far-reaching recommendations so that lessons can be learned and then it will be avoided. As we speak, there are people still living in tents. If you go to Mepet Degome Tent 1, Mepet Degome Camp 2, Camp 1, Camp 2, there are hundreds of our fellow citizens still living in tents. So those living in tents who lost their properties, Mr. Speaker, how do you think they see us when they hear of another statement? There's going to be spillage soon. And indeed, my follow-ups indicate that the spillage could be as soon as the 1st of August. That's what I'm picking up from my usually reliable deep throat sources. So Mr. Speaker, it's so imminent, 1st August. And here we are. The tourism minister knows, he was at the Ministry of Energy. He knows that all my sources are usually impeccable and unimpeachable, So, Mr. Speaker, here we are, 10 months. And I'm not aware of any inquiry, even by the Ministry of Energy or by the VRA itself, that will help us as a country to learn lessons and to prevent this disaster from recurring. So for the umpteenth time, I'm asking leadership, the majority chief whip, when are we going to commence this probe? When are we going to really live up to our obligations, our constitutional mandate on this matter? And at least assuage the pain, the suffering, the anguish that our fellow compatriots have gone through. 10 good months, 10 months. 10 months just to set up a committee. Then when the committee starts working, how long will it take? 10 months. We can't set up a committee. I mean, Mr. Speaker, this cannot continue. And I live in fear. Now, constituents are calling. Is it going to be like last year? What will happen? And I'm not aware that even the preparedness measures, how to construct evacuation centers, how to make sure this time people are aided out of harm's way, and all of those things that need to be done. I'm not sure that they've been done. Because even compensation has not been paid as we speak. Government housing, not done. So, Mr. Speaker, it's as if, this disaster is being ignored and sections of our citizenry are being left on their own. I don't want to believe that really is the motive. So, Mr. Speaker, I pray that this will be the last Friday that I'm reminding leadership and reminding this House that the probe ought to commence work so that we can learn lessons, so that the needed institutional reforms can be carried out. My final concern, Mr. Speaker, is on a similar trajectory. Again, an astounding probe on the National Cathedral. This House debated after a motion was duly admitted by the Speaker. Both sides agreed there is a need for this committee of inquiry. There was no challenge. No single member rose up to oppose the relevance of such an inquiry. And once again, we are here, total inertia, no action. Mr. Speaker, every day we wake up as members of Parliament, we want to work, we want to serve our country. You know, we want to live up to the expectations of the people. But we face so many impediments, so many barriers, and you really can't see. We don't know whether there's some unseen hands or some ghosts. I don't know. Maybe one of these days, Mr. Speaker, we should probably submit to some national deliverance session, you know, so that we can all be delivered from the inertia which is upon this House. Because I really don't know what is happening. You know, I have followed up. Every Friday I raise it. I've discussed with leadership. I've gone to Speaker's office. I mean, issued many reminders, letters. There is nothing in the rule book, Mr. Speaker, that I have not pursued. You know, I've even tweets, X, Facebook, media engagements. There is no week that I don't talk about this matter, Mr. Speaker. And I have become a broken record. You know, people are now saying, "Yatia bre." I'm sure anytime they hear me talk about this. So, Mr. Speaker, even though the Honorable Patrick Yabuama is trying to make light of the situation, it's a very serious matter. And I pray that we shall really get to the bottom of these matters. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'm left with two. No, let them go to Fulcrum.
Thank you very much. Indeed.
Somebody's.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Yabuam, I haven't called you. I haven't seen you.
So, Speaker, thank you very much. Indeed, I just want to come back to the issue raised by Honorable Kujato in respect of the spillage matter. I think if it is indeed the decision of this House to probe into the matter, we need to pay serious attention to that. And indeed, we don't even need to wait for that probe. Maybe the responsible ministers will have to be summoned to tell us or brief the House what preparations have been made to ensure that the potential disaster that may occur, if there is any spillage, will be dealt with. And so, Mr. Speaker, I think I want to lend some support for that and pray that this House take action on that.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to you. Let me go to Balban Boy. I'll come back.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Yusuf, just hold on. Yes, Patrick.
Mr. Speaker, it's related to my brother's frustration, Mr. Speaker. It's very important. Lives cannot be joked with, Mr. Speaker, especially when you have people sleeping in tents. What if the community is also faced with some other epidemic? We are talking about a very serious matter here, Mr. Speaker. On the 5th, on Wednesday, the Minister of State designate, I think now it's been confirmed by the House, Honorable Krapa. I asked him this question during his vetting, that I saw a letter from the VRA dated the 5th of July, warning the people around the river about potential spillage, and they were going to engage in some stakeholder meetings. It's very, very important that we as a House take a serious look and involve ourselves in that stakeholder engagement. They were talking about some controlled spillage, but those there are suffering already. Where would they be if that so-called controlled spillage goes uncontrolled? So we must, as a House, take a very serious view on this matter, because next time it will be a bupe, and it will be veering into Formina, Mr. Speaker, if you don't take care.
You see, now, Akusumo people. Now, let me go to Swejaman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I'm the one who has been spilling, so if you don't allow me. Mr. Speaker, on the most serious note, I just filed an urgent question on this matter, but I think it will be quicker if you direct the minister to come to this House to brief us on VRA's preparedness for the impending spillage, because everybody is worried, especially against the backdrop, as explained by Honorable Ablapa, that we haven't really convinced ourselves that we will be able to do better this time through any inquiry. And so I think that from what the other contributors have said, if you are minded to direct the Minister for Energy to come to this House and brief us on what they have done after the last spillage and their preparedness to have a better spillage this time, I think it will help all of us, because we have all seen the communication, and they are going to spill in a matter of a couple of weeks. And so if we are going to go through the process of filing a question and all that, I think it will take a longer time. So if you are minded to give directives, I think it will be very, very helpful. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, let me go to Bolly Bamboy.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, let me thank our leader for presenting this statement. I have a few issues that I want to raise. One, he's talking about sitting time and extending sittings. Mr. Speaker, that's very important because we're supposed to work. But the question I want to ask is, what is he doing to ensure that his side of this House attend to parliamentary business? Look at them. How many of them are here sitting? Mr. Speaker, you asked us to come and even work on Mondays, only for you not to come to work. I want to sound a caution that if they don't attend, we will raise quorum as and when is necessary. And when we do it, Mr. Speaker, nobody should go and put on front pages that some two MPs have caused chaos in Parliament. That is not our nature. We are doing our work. We are paid to come and work. We have agreed that even on Mondays, we will come to work. Then we come, and some will decide not to come. When in actual fact, you should be more concerned because you are the ones who are in government. So that's a caution I want to put across. And I can assure you that I will walk my ways. It's not a threat. But let all those who take government money as members of Parliament take this House serious. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, my second issue has to do with questions. Mr. Speaker, It is one of our responsibilities to interrogate and to ensure that the executive live up to expectation. That is why they are voted into power. So for us, the minority, we have so many tools, and I've said this several times. And one of the tools is to ask ministers questions. Mr. Speaker, you ask a question, it is filed, you come, the minister will not attend, and they say next time, you come, as I speak to you, last 2 weeks, 2 of my questions appeared in the order paper. I was here throughout, the minister, for some reasons, we couldn't take them. I had to complain for the questions you moved to this week. The week has ended. It hasn't been taken. One would have thought that the questions will be moved to next week. As we speak, I can't see the questions. So please, leadership, those questions, I'll forever ask the questions. And as long as I stay in this house, even if it is the next parliament, and I know I'm coming, I'll ask the questions. Now, Speaker, my other issue, regrettably, has to do with the issue of killings in my constituency. And I don't feel happy talking about it. It's sad. But I remember very well that 3 weeks ago, three weeks ago, I asked that if the Minister of Interior could be summoned to this house, and we have that right, we have that mandate, to at least give some hope to the people. Self-imposed curfew. I even pleaded that on that Wednesday, if the minister could be asked to come, a different date was given. And I remember insisting that this has to do with lives. Now, Speaker, I'm sad to announce to you that there was another killing just about 3 days ago. I believe that if the minister was here and had given some hope to the people, yes, I was asked to contact him. I did. I contacted him. And what I'm told is that he'll find time and go there. He'll find time and go there. I pray that the time comes fast. And we are talking about lives. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to plead sincerely that today is Bole, tomorrow it could be another place. And let's don't create an atmosphere where people will think that because it's Bole, that is why we are not proactive. And then people begin to join West. Now it is when you vote for Ronaldo, our president, that is why you matter. That should not be the case. But that is the perception that is being built. And I think that our appeal to leadership, please, 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 Bole is part of Ghana. And I know there are some few MPP people who have voted for another. If not for anything at all, he should appreciate what they have done. Now, Speaker, lastly, loans. If there's any government from 1957, as somebody said, who has taken loans, it is this government. It's your government. Unfortunately, you are unable to even show what you have used the money to do. Yet, you are coming back and asking for loans and telling us that you are going to do projects here and there. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance is supposed to appear before us to deliver the mid-year review of the budget. On the 23rd, we'll be here, inshallah. And we expect him to tell us what he has used the loans that you guys have taken all these years. Now, Speaker, it is only when we are able to tell what you have used the loans for that we'll be able to tell whether your government has done better than Nkrumah, whether your government, the MPP government, the current government, has done better than J.A. Kufuor's government. That is when we'll be able to tell whether this current government has done better than His Excellency John
Honorable member,
government.
Honorable member, we are dealing with business statement.
Yes.
I mean,
I made reference to item 6, mid-year review of the budget. And it has to do with performance, government performance. Comparing the May 8 to the May
Well, well, thank you. Thank you.
I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that if we have people who can stand on platform to say that they have done better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, they can only show it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Let me go to Sora.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please, we are taking so much time on the business statement.
Mr. Speaker, the issues are issues that matter so much. That is why we are raising concerns. This has to do with ministers appearing to answer questions, just like my good brother and the Honorable Dr. Apat said. Mr. Speaker, my question star 1882 kept repeating since 2 weeks ago. Just on Tuesday, I received this message from the table office. Honorable member, Mr. Speaker, permit me to read. Honorable member, your oral question, star 1882, to the Ministry of Roads and Highways, filed on 9th July 2024, has been scheduled for Wednesday, July 2024. Mr. Speaker, this question was rather filed long ago. But receiving this message, I was convinced that the minister would have appeared to answer the question. The day for yesterday, the minister didn't show up. Yesterday, he didn't show up. This morning, as I look around, I can only see about 6 people on the majority side. It tells me that the minister is not appearing again to answer the question. Mr. Speaker, just like Honorable Yaboama indicated, the importance of the Kumasi Highway, the importance of the Winneba, this Beneyiri, the Bigu Road, is also very important to the people of Solatona Kalba. And so, Mr. Speaker, that road got damaged in 2022. I expect the minister to appear and also give the people of Solatona Kalba some hope.
Honorable member for Sola.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
My information, I wasn't here, but my information is that the minister was here, prepared to answer those questions. But the House unanimously decided not to take the questions. Yes. So I think you can ask for the question to be replaced, not necessarily blaming the minister, because he was here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Then, Mr. Speaker, it's leadership I will blame, because if leadership, we all agree that the minister should make arrangement for the minister to appear to answer the question. And so I will have to complain to leadership to find a way of getting the minister to come and answer the question. That question is very important to the people of Solatona Kalba, especially the Bigu people. That is the market that the District Assembly depends on to raise revenues. That is the market that the people of Solatona Kalba go to buy foodstuffs to feed their children. And so that is why I'm also raising the issue. And Mr. Speaker, another important issue that I want to raise has to do with a matter I raised a week ago regarding a report that your own committee generated, the Government Assurances Committee. A report that the Honorable Patricia Piaget was the chairperson for the Government Assurance Committee last year when we took a trip to the central region and then some schools in the greater Accra region. Mr. Speaker, very revealing informations were collected. And so we expected that the report would have been taken, especially on the education ministry. Mr. Speaker, it was revealed that the current BC candidates, they are ending their exam today. From JSS 1 up to JSS 3, they never received a single textbook, but they are completing their BCE today. Mr. Speaker, because of those critical issues that the report covered, I want to say that the leadership stepped on the report. Close to 5 months, the committee report has not been taken. Mr. Speaker, if we treat committee report this way, your committee members will feel reluctant to take trips to come out with reports. I think it is time we hold committee, especially if it is the class 4 that the reports are not taken, or is the leadership that is sitting on reports, we should get committee reports taken.
Thank you very much.
To give courage to members to take such exercises. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes. Honorable Mark. I'm not coming back here. I decided to go systematically. So, Honorable Jifa, please pardon me. Yes, Honorable Mark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. There's a national problem, and that is the only radiotherapy machine in Ghana has broken down. Right, Honorable Speaker, in Ghana, our country has broken down. Right, Honorable Speaker, there used to be two of them, one at Confirmation Teaching Hospital and the other one at Kolebu. The Confirmation Teaching Hospital one broke down some time ago, and now we've sat down as a nation to see to it that the Kolebu one too has broken down. Indeed, when some patients went there and they wanted to access the services and they were asked to go home, some of them were talking and practically crying. So we need to invite the health minister to come as a matter of urgency to answer questions and then explain to us how soon they can resolve this problem. I'm saying this because the radiotherapy machine is used for cancer treatment. And without it, the cancer cells, they spread to some other organs, so that the disease becomes like, you can find it everywhere, and you can't treat it because now it is everywhere. And so, in fact, we cannot allow patients.
Honorable member for Nadoli. Nabdam, yes. Can I advise you to file a question on that?
Right, Honorable Speaker, this is very, very urgent. We have 60 patients accessing the services every day. In a month, we have 1,800.
Honorable member, I'm thinking you get the results through asking agent question than just leaving it with the leadership. That's my advice. Just file an agent question. I'll process it.
I think the problem is that when agent questions are filed, it takes a lot of days. Yes.
Well, it's my advice, and I think that will yield you the results, if you may take it. But if you want to leave it with the leadership, the leader will respond to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Now let him take the last one and we'll conclude it. Yes, Honorable Ahmed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the consent that was raised by Honorable former Minority Leader.
Honorable
Haruna Idrisu.
But if it has already been raised.
No, I'm referring you to.
Leader, if it has already been raised.
A directive that has been preached is what I'm referring you to. When we were passing the EC budget, the chair gave a directive that every quarter, the EC should come and meet Parliament and update us on the happening because it's a crucial year. We have ended 2 quarters. We are in the 3rd quarter. None of those meetings has taken place. And that is why I'm confirming that if next week will not be possible, it is not only easy. The Speaker, you remember when they wanted to pass a CI to make Ghana card a mandatory requirement for registration. Government promised releasing money to National Identification Authority. We invited them here too. Mr. Speaker, those challenges have not been fixed. Ever since the EC abandoned the CI, Ghana card people have been left to stand alone. And we are waiting, allowing it as a time bomb. Then in 2028,
when there's a CI that, oh, we should make Ghana card the sole mandatory document, then we'll be running again. If the EC is coming, whether Ghana card is going to be a mandatory requirement for registration or not, government must resource them to do the work. Ghana card is not just a political tool. Whether it is a mandatory document or not, we must resource them. So let's invite the EC together with the National Identification Authority people, just as we invited them. They should come and update us so that we'll be on the same page. So I think I'm saying this because the National Peace Council went and met the EC, and they said 2028, Ghana card should be the sole mandatory document, without hearing the version of Parliament. But we can bring both and listen to them and find a solution. That is one. Then the second point is, the EC himself says sometimes she cries before she's giving money. So Parliament must intervene. So if we are not, yes, I'm telling you, it's a fact, that I'm not taking the money for myself. I'm taking the money for Ghana work. That's what she said when she met the committee. So, Mr. Speaker, it is mandatory that this House must meet the Electoral Commission to make sure that whatever must be given to her is given. Put that one aside. Mr. Speaker, I share boundary with Bole Bamwe. He also shares boundary with Olatuna Kaba and Wa. The serial killing is on that stretch. We all share boundary with Cote d'Ivoire. So, Mr. Speaker, it's not just something that should be left to the Interior Minister. Oh, when I get time, I will go there. Mr. Speaker, this can be a national something. And I think the Honorable Rashid Pepo has that problem. This is either serial killing or ritual killing. You cannot identify it. But there are killings. Some watchman will be sleeping. Somebody will go and break the head and kill him. These are the kind of killings that are going there. So if the Interior Minister can be called into a committee of the whole or into a closed sitting so that we may all be able to give out our best. How best can we track it? Mr. Speaker, you answer boundary with him. There have been about 4 killings in Bole. What will they say? But if you look at what is happening on that area, Mr. Speaker, there's a need for that calling. Then finally, Mr. Speaker, I've been here before. When you see the entire site empty, it calls you for something. No, Chief Whip, I must help you. Mr. Speaker, now who is majority? We are majority. No, let's count. We are majority. You said that's what I want to say. We are majority. Mr. Speaker, government must bring government work, and government must make sure that government bench counts. And when government is making program, government must take into consideration that he's been given 4-year mandate to execute. As I speak to you, flag bearer is in north, running mate is in west, in the south. You are campaigning. The MPs are following you. Instead of coming to sit here to do government work, meanwhile you still have 4 months, 1 week to be in government. Who should do that work? You are thinking of breaking the 8 and not solving the problems. Mr. Speaker, this is serious. So the member did not just sound a caution. But Mr. Speaker, the Constitution must be respected. What I want to say is that, Mr. Speaker, I'm a deputy whip. My boss is here. The flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, must release the MPs to come to Parliament and work. The running mate, Dr. Metropoku Prampe, must release the MPs to come and work. Other than that, we will invoke Article 102 and 104 and raise quorum. The Constitution must be respected. You cannot be breaching the Constitution and seeking for renewal of mandate. We must be serious in this House. And Mr. Speaker, if that is not done, when they invoke the Constitution and call by 15%, we all came. So when the time comes and we invoke it, you must heed to our calling. We are saying this because you cannot trap us. We will come and sit here doing government work. You are roaming in our constituencies campaigning. Mr. Speaker, we may not be victims of that. And we mean serious business. If next week all the 138 are not here, Mr. Speaker, we will also sign leave of absence for members to also go and can be campaigning. meaning you have open campaign. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity, I want to thank my good friend, the Majority Whip, for reading of the business statement. If he turns his back, you realize that he does not even have numbers to form a football team. He is so depleted, and this is not good for the country. And the call by Honorable Ahmed must be respected. Mr. Speaker, indeed, as we speak, government officials are working in our constituencies, sharing rice, sugar to people campaigning, and fertilizer, with MPs following the flag bearer and his running mate, when they are supposed to be here doing their work. And Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians don't want to see this. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank Honorable Boama. He made a very important statement that he called on the Minister of Roads to come and update the House on some of the road projects they are doing. Mr. Speaker, I think it's a very good thing. I also have few questions that require the attention of ministers. I can start with the Minister of Tourism. We have read that Dubois Center is being sold for 50 years. Whilst you are here, can you update us as to whether Dubois Center is being sold for 50 years?
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
He is here to answer questions.
No, so he can come back another time and answer the question.
Find the question.
Okay. So this is just a prompt. I'll put it. I'll ask it officially whether Dubois Center is being sold for 50 years. But he can take the podium. No, not now. When you get the podium, you can answer the question. Mr. Speaker, I also want to
the hotel stories.
Find out from
At the hotels.
If the road minister can come to the House, in addition to when he's coming, in addition to what the Honorable Obama has said, to find out from him that when
Honorable Government, I don't understand what you are doing.
Oh, in fact, Mr. Speaker, I'm doing exactly what Honorable Obama did by saying that the road minister should come and update us on that. So I'm saying that when he's coming, the road minister should also update us as to whether the $2.45 million that was paid to Motor Angels, whether the road minister would actually retrieve the money for us. When the road minister is coming, I also want to find out whether Mr. Speaker, no. Whether to find out from the road minister, Mr. Speaker, it's important that Dr. Baumia promised that since January 2017, they are only going to build asphalt concrete roads. The road minister should have updated us on the length of concrete roads that have been built since 2017. Mr. Speaker, when the finance minister comes, just as Honorable Boama said, he should update us on the following: whether he's interested in retrieving the $2 million paid for SkyTrain. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it's the same thing Honorable Boama did. I'm just adding to it, Mr. Speaker. Why is mine not acceptable?
You are a leader. I mean, forget about it. You are a leader.
What he did was very fantastic. What he did was very fantastic. I'm just adding a little bit to it, Mr. Speaker. Whether I want to ask from the finance minister that, Mr. Speaker, you and I approved for the building of Pullman Hotel, of which government is investing $25 million. If the finance minister can update the House, the progress of work of the Pullman Hotel. Mr. Speaker, on education, if the education minister comes, if he can update us that this year, how much they spent photocopying past questions for BEC, whether they have actually sent any money photocopying past questions.
Time is enough.
Speaker, it just left. Speaker, I thank you very much for your indulgence. I'm just left with only one.
Kwame, be mindful that you are a leader.
Mr. Speaker,
you don't descend.
Oh, no, Mr. Speaker. Is it not important that we get updated by the things we approve in this House? Mr. Speaker, don't worry, Mr. Speaker. The ministers will be coming to update us on this thing. The last one I want to find out from the minister is this: that what is the new updated completion date for the National Cathedral? Because we know there was a start date and completion date. That's the only thing, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity once more and to attempt to respond to the milieu of issues raised by colleagues. Speaker, let me start off from my good friend, the Chief Whip. Speaker, clearly the Chief Whip is on a frolic of his own. And interestingly, he is an important member of the Business Committee. He decides to come to the chamber and play to the gallery. He knows better. So maybe I won't go into the specific of the issues he raised. Speaker, the matter raised by my good friend, the honorable member for Bole, my sympathies go out there to him and the constituents. And I think I agree with him that we should find space to get the Minister for the Interior. And it relates to the same matter that was raised by Honorable Ahmed. Either closed sitting or committee of the whole, but preferably should be closed sitting since it's related to security matters, so that it will be addressed. I'm sure that can easily be done. Attendance, and my colleague was very eloquent when he related to attendance on our side. What he should know is that it's a house. The house is both sides of the house. I don't want to go into the specific because there are times you are ready to do business and you are nowhere to be found. So, well, I've already cautioned that I don't want to go into specifics. There are times we are told you have to attend to court, and we have always deferred to you. So when you want to be fair, if my colleague Bole Bamboy member wants to be fair in showing regret in terms of attendance, let him also look at their side. So I think it's an issue that affects both sides of the house. So we cannot belabor the point. Then he related to loans. We have a power of oversight. We have a power of oversight. There are a number of committees, and the committees we know have huge powers. So go to your committee and work effectively there and work on your oversight. You can call the Minister of Finance to come and apprise the committee, and you can come up with a report and apprise plenary. So please, my good friend, you know what to do, and stay there and do that. Dr. Park expresses disappointment and hoping that leadership will walk our talk. We've often walked our talk, that's a fact. I recall the Minister of Education wrote officially to this House to request that his questions to be reprogrammed. And that was done. I recall a copy of that letter was submitted. I was copied in that letter. And your chief whip was also duly copied. So I don't think that is an issue. And he talks about the education sector of our country needs to be rescued. If there is anybody who has rescued the educational sector of our country, it's the new patriotic party government. If there is any government, as far as the history of this country is concerned, that has rescued our educational sector in terms of issues, is the new patriotic party. It's a new patriotic party. Now, we put the debate to a complete rest as to who initiated free SHS. It's at rest. The debate is at rest as to who initiated free SHS. It's at rest. So, my colleague Dr. Apak should get the fact. Speaker, I think our colleague Jonaba Ablakwa has a point. What I recall, the former Minister of Energy, the Honorable Dr. Opoku Prempeh attended upon this house. I was in the house then. He briefed us on happenings afterwards, the aftermath of the spillage. He gave us a detailed briefing. But I see your two issues. You raise issues related to the aftermath of the spillage, which I think he came to brief this house on. And then you are calling for a probe. You also said that you had even reached out to the Speaker, and that is not seeing the light of day. In this house, the Speaker has a final say on these matters. So probably we in leadership should get back to the Speaker for the appropriate advice. But I think you have a point, and we must all show sympathies to the Honorable Ablakwa. On the resettlement, I am aware the Minister for Works and Housing will soon be in this house. If not next week, I'm sure, because I related personally. I have families who also live at Esunjaman and part of your constituency. And I'm not saying this because I have families there. It's because we have Ghanaians there and we must respond to them. He's going to announce a resettlement package. So probably we should be patient and wait for him on that. So this will be my response to Honorable Ablakwa, Honorable Dr. Park, and well, it's also the same response because is that the Speaker has the final say. And I'm surprised the Chief will be showing frustration. You are part of the business committee. Probably you should tell your member that you have failed in convincing the members of the business committee to program this particular business to be taken. Probably you should tell your member that you have failed as a member, as an important member of the business committee, to convince members of the business committee to program his business. What I'm saying is that
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Can I finish? The committee, it is not just the business committee that does that. It is not just the committee. Wait, be patient. Sit down. Just sit down. Let me finish. Speaker, it is not only the business committee that does that. And my colleague knows this so well. So relate well to your colleague that you have failed in convincing the business committee to program his business to be prosecuted. And don't come to the floor and behave as if you love your member more than any of us who are members of the business committee. But we'll relate to the Speaker. Speaker, on this matter, we'll relate to the Speaker and get appropriate advice. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to clarify, I have not failed at all. Mr. Speaker, the very first day the committee was set up after the motion was tabled and discussed, we provided the names of the people who should be on the committee. For the last 10 months, the side opposite has failed to provide names of the people who should be on the committee because I'm beginning to suspect that they don't want the truth to be known by Ghanaians. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not your fault, it's not the fault of this side, but the fault of the side opposite who are failing to provide. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if they provide the names now, we will form the committee right now. So I dare them to provide the names of the people they want to be on the committee right now, and we'll form the committee. If they fail to provide that, Mr. Speaker, then it is they who are shielding the wrongdoings at the Cathedral site. A site we spent $58 million, the price tag of 3 fully furnished Agenda 111 hospitals in a whole. $58 million can build 3 fully equipped Agenda 111 hospitals, but you sank that money in a hole today. It's a hole.
Well. Honorable members.
It's a hole. It's a deep hole.
Honorable members. Leader, you want to respond?
Right. First of all, my colleague who I work closely with, I see his anxiety. You can feel the anxiety on my skin. Practically trying to convince the Honorable Ablakwa that he has actually been doing something at the business committee. But it's not enough. Speaker, for all the times that you have directed that committee should be formed, such has been done. Let me give you just 2 examples. when we had to put together a committee to go on investigation, exploration investigation on Sanguini, there we formed it. When we had to put together a committee to work on members' pension, there we formed it. Both of us featured on that. Can he tell me the date that we decided in this House to form a committee and we on the majority side failed? We have never failed and we will not fail.
Well, honorable members, leader, you mentioned something, that the committee to look into the welfare of members and former members.
If I recall, you were presiding.
Yes, I was presiding, and the directive was that the report should be submitted today.
Speaker,
I gave you 2 weeks.
The report is ready. My colleague will bear me out. The report is ready. We are looking at it. We are just giving a fine-tuning, and then the speaker will look at the report before we present. So we've scheduled to take it on Monday.
Very well. Honorable members, the business statement has been read to us. It has been thoroughly discussed and is hereby adapted to work with next week.
Mr. Speaker, I wasn't going to stop you. I just want to add to what you said. It's true. You were the one who was in the chair when the directive was made on the welfare.
Yes.
Incidentally, you were the one in the chair the day we actually debated the motion on the National Cathedral, and you directed. So just remind him that just as you directed and we formed the committee on the members' welfare, he should do same with the committee on National Cathedral.
Very well. So I hope you've heard it. So be reminded. Honorable members, let's now turn to questions. Questions. I think we will turn to questions relating to Honorable Minister for Tourism. The rest are not here. So, Honorable Andy Ejapa, you take your rightful seat. So, honorable members, the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, our own brother, Honorable Andrew Ejapa-Mensah, is here to respond to members who have issues relating to his ministry. So we will start with question 1598. Question 1598. And that question stands in the name of a member for Nadoli Kalio. Nadoli Kalio. Honorable Anthony Winkala Suma. Is Honorable Suma not around? Yes. Honorable Member for Sada, you may take the question on his behalf.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture what measures the ministry has put in place to enhance the tourism potential of the Nadoli Kalio district. Thank you very much.
Respectfully, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The strategic location of the Nadoli Kalio district in the upper west region of Ghana, close to the border with Burkina Faso, renders it an important spot for tourism development. Speaker, indeed, the uniqueness of the environment with its good weather conditions makes it suitable for the development of resorts, for which reason consultations are being initiated with the district for the allocation of land banks to be featured in the investment drive for the hospitality pursuits. Speaker, the ministry has already engaged a consultant to develop a special master plan for the Upper West region, which includes Nadoli Kalio Sankana circuit, to guide the full conservation, management, and promotion of tourism resources in the district. The Speaker, the Nadoli Kalio district has historical heritage and natural/ecotourism products, which include the following: Sankana Caves, Ombo Ura Rocky Hills, Falantan Ant Hills at Bayero near Nanville, Zakwiri Community Resource Management Area, Duong Bone Settlers Clinic, Royal Mausoleums, Crocodile Pond, and Sombo Rock footprints. These attractions are mostly in their natural state and are yet to be developed or enhanced. The ministry will continue to engage with the District Assembly to prioritize the provision of basic infrastructure to these tourist resources and facilities, and collaborate with the private sector to invest in tourism superstructures. Speaker, the ministry is of the strong conviction that tourism will serve as a tool for poverty alleviation and livelihood enhancement through income generation related activities. When the communities fully embrace tourism, there would be an increase in tourist spending due to the direct sale of pottery, calabash art, wood, grass art, leather art, smoke weaving, guest homes, food vending, as well as increase the cultural capital of the communities. Prototype craft centers and pavilions will be provided in consultation with this assembly to expand the production of the native smokes with an apprenticeship project and aimed at income generation and support for domestic tourism. Speaker, some proposed measures to enhance tourism potential in the Nadoli-Kalio district are as follows. The Sankana Caves. Speaker, the brief description of which are that these are large masses of rocks with a very deep cave underneath one of the rocks. It is believed that the caves were used as hiding places during the samurai Babatu slavery invasion. The measures that we are taking to enhance their tourism potential are archaeological excavation to link slavery activities and develop cave tour. Facilitate the promotion of Kalibi Festival that commemorates the defeat of slave raiders by the people of Sankana in 1897. The Speaker, on the Ombo Wora Rock, which is a huge single outcrop of rocky hills in Ombo near Kalio. It is believed to be sacred due to how it came into existence. Speaker, the measures that we are taking to facilitate development of adventure tourism and picnic, recreational, and religious retreat centers. Speaker, on the Falanta Anthill and Nandili, a beautiful scene of anthills which were used as a haven during the samurai Babatu slave raids, is the main attraction. It covers an area of about 2 kilometers of anthills and are shaped like mushrooms and are in several layers. These layers show the age of each anthill. The measures that we are taking, Speaker, is to collaborate with the communities and the Assembly to develop receptive centers and to improve accessibility to the sites. We are collaborating with the Zupuri Community Resource Management Area to promote and enhance tourist visitation. Speaker, on the Duong Bone Sectors Clinic, which is a village famous for the treatment of broken bones and fractures, we are collaborating with the District Assembly and the Ghana Health Service to develop and expand the center. Speaker, these are the steps that are being taken to establish a district tourism office to facilitate the growth of the sector and also to collect data from the increasing number of visitors crisscrossing the border towns. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes, I'll give you one supplementary question.
Oh, Speaker.
I'll give you one.
Speaker,
the owner of the question is not here.
Speaker, I have a couple of supplementary, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect. Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, with respect to the drone village where the people are noted for, yes, you mentioned it, the people are noted for treating bone fractures and osteoporosis treatments. The Danida, because they were famous for that, the Danida, as an international agency, has come in to build a 3-unit facility as a treatment center to help the locals continue to do what they do. And I heard the minister mention that they have intention to liaise with the district assembly and the ministry to develop some facility. Can he assure the people that this will be done this year, Mr. Speaker, in addition to what Danida has done?
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, this will be done as soon as possible, and I can give you that assurance.
Well. So last question.
Mr. Speaker, my question was this year, whether it can be done this year. Yes or no?
He has answered.
Mr. Speaker, he said as soon as possible. Mr. Speaker, it can be 2 years.
Is it not an answer?
No, it's not an answer. Because the question was framed within this year. So if it
So
could be
as
done
soon as
this year,
possible, it could be tomorrow.
no, yes, so Mr. Speaker, that's what the people want to hear. Yes, it can be done this year. No, it cannot be done this year. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, my further supplementary is in respect of the fact that out of about the 10 noted tourist sites that the minister spoke to some, would the minister consider liaising with the Assembly, preparing a 5-year mid-year term tourism development plan so that the development agenda of the ministry can be tailored within the period to guide the level and the stage of development covering these various sites, which are very notable attractions, like the footprints, like Sankama Caves and all that you mentioned, you yourself mentioned. A 5-year development plan for the people. If
Yes.
the ministry will consider doing that.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, indeed, there are 2 tourism development plans for the northern sector and the southern sector that the ministry has already developed that we are working with to impact tourism development across the country. Thank you.
Speaker, thank you, W.
Thank you very much. Let's turn to question 1739. Question 1739. A member for Akan, Honorable Yagomado. Yes, Honorable.
Mr.
You have
Speaker,
the floor now.
Thank you for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture what plans the ministry has to develop Mana River beaches along the Wawasukoko beaches, namely Dodofie, Ahamansu, Papasi, Menusu, and Asatu to promote tourism in the KJB district. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, the places mentioned are all notable within the Volta Basin, whose ecosystem remains exotic and capable of attracting tourists. The ministry is collaborating with the 6 district assemblies, namely Nkwanta North, Nkwanta South, Krachi East, Krachi West, Nchumuru, and Biakoye districts to incentivize and promote the development of riverfront facilities for recreation and to provide accommodation, food, and beverage services. This will help to promote Ghana as a tourist destination. Speaker, a master plan for the Southern Enclave of Ghana has been developed under the Ghana Tourism Development Project, which has captured the above-mentioned areas. A resource audit is on the way to explore specific opportunities guided by the developed master plan. Speaker, in consultation with the Oti District Assembly, the Ghana Tourism Authority's Regional Directorate is identifying land banks to be secured along the Wawa Isukawa River for development international standard water parks and river sports. Population centers like Ahomaso and Dodi Papase are being encouraged to embrace community-based tourism projects, not only to drive job opportunities, but also to maintain the environmental integrity of the pristine ecosystem sought after by tourists along the Wawa River and enhance the recreational facilities at Wawa Beach. We plan to create receptive facilities at Yonku number 1, Stone Pillar, and the Bakwa Caves to receive and guide tourists within the enclave. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Gomado, any supplementary question?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, it appears to me many times we invite ministers to the House and put questions before them. They give very good answers, but no action is taken. The answers he provided sound very beautiful, but I want to find out from him, when will all this come to effect?
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, I believe that the question was specific and direct. I'm not sure that the Honorable Minister is oblivious of funding constraints that would enable the ministry deploy or implement all the policies and programs that it has within a certain time frame as we would have all wished for. So that's the plan. And as long as funding becomes available, then we'll work to roll them out. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time I call for his predecessor. Some of the questions that we put or we table are directly from our traditional rulers. So if answers are provided, then you go and tell them, oh, they'll be coming to do this, that. And again, we are receiving the same promises. I want to know from him what assurance will he give to me to send to these traditional rulers that, yes, all that he has said will be coming into effect soon or when. That's what I want to know.
Minister, did you get the question?
Speaker, tourism development is really public sector led, private sector driven. We have rolled out the policies, and it is the expectation that when the framework is then developed, the private sector can take up and put in the requisite investment that then, actualizes some of these things. Like I said, as a ministry, that is the plan that we've had, putting in place measures to acquire land banks and other things and develop the framework that then would encourage the private sector to then participate in developing these. And so to ask for assurance, as if we all are unaware of the financial constraints and government not directly investing in these sectors will be far-fetched. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Gumado, you may take your next question, which is 1740. 1740.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, thank you once again for rising to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture what plans the ministry has to support the replenishment of the Bufa rainforest into ornamental and medicinal forests for tourist attraction at Jamlome, Ketepi, and Wawasu. Thank you.
Yes, the Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Speaker, the entire enclave is notable for its exotic, moist, semi-deciduous ecosystems and already highlighted in the promotion of adventure, mountaineering, canoeing, and other aspects of river-based and ecotourism activities. The ministry is liaising with the Forestry Commission and non-governmental organizations located at the Shari, also known as the Hanging Village, to undertake an audit within the conservation area to identify ornamental and medicinal species within the forest in and around Wawaso for the development of the roadmap towards restoration and conservation of indigenous, medicinal, ornamental, and artisanal plant species by the Parks and Gardens Department. Speaker, the Ghana Tourism Authority's Regional Office recently established a Dambai, which is the Otirina capital, and aims to, among others, spearhead tourism product development in the area within the conceptual scheme for tourism sites prioritized for development under the master plan for the Southern Ghana Enclave. All these, Mr. Speaker, are however medium-term undertakings which require sustained multi-agency collaboration to accomplish, and the ministry will play its role in facilitating their realization. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Gumado.
Mr. Speaker, I think it still comes back to the same thing that I'm asking. If the people are requesting for this and being their representative, I'm not able to tell them anything. All I have to say is that the government said they are broke, as he has said. So this is the message I will send, because he's talking about the financial situation in the country. So I'll tell my chiefs and the others that the government said they are broke. So
hopefully, when the table turns, we may give them something good. Thank you.
Very well. So, honorable members, we turn to question 1832. Question 1832. Honorable member for Northton.
I'm very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture the total amount of funds raised through private donations in Ghana and the United States of America for the construction of the National Cathedral project. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, on the lighter side, surprising that a project that has been variously described by a good friend as a private project has found its way in the Parliament of Ghana, and a question being asked of the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture to respond to, clearly demonstrating that there is broad consensus that this is a public project which should require public attention. And I'm grateful to respond to his question. Speaker, during the business statement debate, it also came up that the National Cathedral site is a whole. Speaker, indeed, it is not a whole. It is a foundation that has been built. And my good friend should know that under any circumstance cannot be described as a whole. Any building or structure that you intend to commence will commence with a foundation. And that's exactly what is on the site as we speak. So it cannot be described as a whole. So we are now to the question. The total amount of funds raised through private donations in Ghana and in the United States of America for the construction of the National Cathedral project to date stands as follows. Speaker, Ghana, we've raised 33,444,704.74. And the United States, 33,444,704.74. And in the United States, we've raised $427,701 United States dollars. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kujetu, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister, by way of my first supplementary question, is that these sums of monies raised in Ghana and the US, is he able to tell us if all these sums went into the construction of the project, or some were used for other matters, probably like administrative expenses and or some of the other things we have seen them do, holding Bible conferences at Kempinski and other things. I don't want to remind him of the tall list of things they have engaged in, including bringing a stone from Israel and all of that. But I just want to find out these amounts of money that he has referenced, quite impressive sums. Did they all go into the construction of what he is now describing as a foundation?
Mr. Speaker, the supplementary question obviously is not contained in the original question. But certainly, if it's a project, and it stands to reason that some payments will go into project management and all that. And I don't have the detailed breakdown of how much has been expended on construction or any other related activity. But it stands to reason that some cost outlay that is related to the project would be captured by the expenses that have been made on the project. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, my second supplementary question relates to the funds raised from the United States of America. Did I hear the Honorable Minister say that it's $427,701 US dollars? Is it US dollars or Ghana cedis? I want to get the denomination right so that I can then ask the second supplementary question.
Speaker, I gave a US dollar figure of 427,701.00. Thank you.
Thank Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is the Honourable Minister aware that what the National Cathedral agents and assigns have filed in the United States of America by way of their Form 501C, a copy of which I hold in my hands? They have declared only 63,978. That's what they say they raised from contributions, gifts, grants, and similar amounts received. Is the Honourable Minister aware? The only filing, when you go on the IRS website of the United States of America, that figure is so low, I mean, as compared to what the Minister is telling us. How does the Minister explain the discrepancy? 63,978, and we are being told today 427,701.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, it would be useful for the honourable member to furnish us with the date of that filing, because otherwise, then it creates a certain impression, as if to say some amount of money has been received and people are refusing to disclose. These figures that I've given is as of June 5th, 2024. And so if your filing is an earlier date, it will not reflect the figure as of today. Thank you.
Yes. We now turn to question.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not done. I have one more. Well, Mr. Speaker, just to inform the Honourable Minister that they filed only once. They filed in April this year. I'll let a copy. I'll let you have a copy. And they claim that they raised only 63,978. Mr. Speaker, my final supplementary question is that would the Honourable Minister therefore concede that the amount of money spent on the National Cathedral so far is not 339 million, as this House was told last week by the Minister for Finance? Because the breakdown by the Minister of State, it's to do with just taxes that were used for the project, albeit without our approval, without parliamentary approval. So we need to now add this $33.4 million and then the $427,000, so we can get a more accurate picture of the total sum spent on that project, which will far exceed the 339 million we have been told. Would the Minister concede?
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, I cannot make any concessions. Indeed, the question that was posed to my ministry was to indicate the total amount of funds raised, not total amounts expended. And so if the finance minister has given you total amount of money expended, it cannot amount to any concession on my part to say that this accounting that you are asking for ought to be done. I mean, properly, in the appropriate form, I believe so. But the question to me, specific, was how much has been raised through private donations in Ghana and the USA. That's exactly the figure that I've given to this Honourable House. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we turn to question 2045, and it stands in the name of Honourable Professor Adam Hamza. Yes, Ola.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I have the authority of the Honourable Member to ask the question on his behalf, if you permit that.
May you take it again?
Please, I have the authority of the Honourable Professor.
Okay, let's hear you.
Hamza. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture what steps are being taken by the Ministry to promote tourism in the Kumungu constituency. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Kumbungu abound with a number of tourist attractions such as the Dalum Water Treatment Center, traditional artifacts at Lushegu, the night market at Bunu, Botanga Irrigation Dam, the Vogu Market in the evenings, and ancestral habitats of the Kumbungu people, Selini. Speaker, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture has taken significant steps to promote tourism in Kumbungu constituency and across Ghana. Here are some of the key initiatives that have been rolled out. Speaker, the constituency is mapped out as part of the Northern Tourism Enclave Master Plan, which has been earmarked as a circuit for development. This was developed after extensive consultation with stakeholders, and it aims to revitalize the tourism sector and promote sustainable and inclusive growth in the northern part of Ghana, including Kumbungu. Speaker, the areas that have been identified include the traditional artifact at Lokshegu. Here, visitors can explore the rich cultural heritage through traditional artifacts and crafts. The ministry will work with the traditional authorities and other stakeholders to identify a site for the design and construction of a craft center and receptive facilities which will serve as a hub for tourists. Speaker, again, the night market at Bunu, the ministry through its agency, the Ghana Tourism Authority, will collaborate with the District Assembly and stakeholders to develop the infrastructural facilities whereby visitors can experience the vibrant evening market where locals gather to buy and sell goods. The ministry through the GTA is promoting immersive agro-tourism where people can visit and explore the local farms and market atmospheres to find fresh produce, crafts, and more. Speaker, the ministry has initiated progressive interventions to boost domestic tourism through marketing efforts like See Ghana, Eat Ghana, Wear Ghana, and Feel Ghana promotion. We believe that this will help in promoting tourism in Kumbungu constituency and other parts of the northern Ghana. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member wants me to find out from the minister whether there are any timelines for the collaborations with the stakeholders to have the programs indicated here brought to fruit. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, indeed, the Northern Tourism Enclave Master Plan itself was developed through stakeholder engagement and will continue to do so on an ongoing basis. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, his final question is that according to him that there's a shrine, the logo shrine, which hosts some spiritual beasts, and the beasts are normally used during wars. Will the minister consider exploring into this shrine so that it could also be developed into a tourism site for the people of Kumbungu and the whole of Ghana? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Very much so, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, let's turn to question 2138. 2138. Honorable Member for Ketu South. Honorable Mrs. Abra Jifa Gumashi.
Speaker, may I draw your attention to the very important matter of Kulu.
Of what?
Of Kulu.
Honorable, let me finish the. Let me finish the.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious. We are only 31 in this chamber. 31. 31.
Well, let me finish the question.
Mr. Speaker, we require 92 to even do what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, with all due respect. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, let me read the Constitution.
I'm aware of the Constitution. You let me
read it.
Mr.
Speaker, let me anchor this matter on the Constitution in Article 102. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, a quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we have given effect to this provision in Order 64 of our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, particularly Order 64(2) is to the effect that where the person presiding is a deputy speaker or a member, that person shall be counted as part of the quorum. Mr. Speaker, adding you to the number, we are only 31. I've added you, that's why I mentioned 31. Mr. Speaker, we can't continue to do this. The optics are so bad. If we are not properly constituted, then we should leave.
No, member.
So, Mr. Speaker,
are you invoking?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I am properly invoking the Constitution as well as the standing orders to say strongly that, Mr. Speaker, we cannot even continue the business. We can't.
Yes, honorable.
Every decision in this house, everything done in this house is decisional. Everything done is decisional. We can't even continue to ask the minister to.
Yes, honorable Majority Whip.
Speaker, I saw some that we should attend. We are not properly constituted.
Our colleagues should. Speaker, in the course of the presentation of the business statement, many of our colleagues spoke to concerns about questions not being answered, questions being deferred, and the ministers not coming to answer the questions. These questions have been deferred a number of times. And the minister is here to answer the question. In fact, the law was made for man. I'm totally surprised at you. I'm totally surprised. We have very important business. When the questions are in your name, you will not raise quorum. No. When we run this house this way, it creates problem for all of us. It creates problem for us. Anytime you have business to prosecute, you will not raise quorum. But if it is about us, you will raise quorum. Very interesting. Speaker, I will just plead with my colleagues. With respect, I want to plead with my colleagues. Speaker, if he has options.
Honorable members, why?
Speaker, he has options.
Honorable members, please resume your seat.
Speaker, I want Hansard to bear me witness. Tomorrow or any other day, if we don't have ministers in this house, or ministers are unable to appear before answer questions, they shouldn't blame the ministers. You shouldn't blame the ministers. When the ministers come to do business, you raise quorum. No, when the ministers come to this house to attend upon the house and do business, you raise quorum. So which is which? Which is which? Speaker, I will plead with my good friend. He should just withdraw. Withdraw it. Or if he intends to persist, then let's go through the procedure.
Honorable member, are you withdrawing?
Please, Speaker, with all due respect. Speaker, with all due respect, I am not doing this whimsically. So don't let the leader of the house, the majority chief whip, indicate that I am doing this whimsically. I am doing this on terra firma.
Well.
I am saying, Mr. Speaker, I'm raising the issue of quorum, not in respect of any other person's question, but in respect of the member for Ketu South. He belongs to our side. So to suggest that I raise quorum because the question stood in the name of a member from the other side cannot be accurate. Even though.
Well noted.
It is my colleague who is supposed to be on her feet.
Honorable member, well noted.
Mr. Speaker, so I am not withdrawing my motion that the House will attend because we are not properly constituted.
So,
I thank you.
Honorable Padia Paging.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think if my memory serves me right, we've been in this House where serious matters have been considered with very few members of the House. Mr. Speaker, I know why most of our members are trying to raise quorum, and I think I can attribute it to the fact that today we are going to consider the affirmative action bill. And in order to frustrate us, they have started raising issues of quorum. Mr. Speaker, I think that members should be accommodating enough, and let us look at that bit.
Mr. Speaker, I
Thank
take
you.
strong exception to that suggestion. I have no idea.
Honorable members.
Affirmative action.
Honorable members.
I have no idea.
Honorable members. Yes.
I am only saying that if they are minded to do the business, they have to be here. How can 30 people be asked to conduct business of the House?
Mr. Speaker, in fact, at conclave, as leadership, it was agreed that we try to veer away from controversial areas today. Mr. Speaker, as we see, and that was agreed upon, as we sit here, there is an order from the majority chief that they should bring other people addendum for our year, bauxite and lithium agreement to be laid illegally, when we don't have even the numbers to constitute business. Mr. Speaker, that will not be correlated. The Constitution says, Article 1, we need them to one before we can proceed.
Honorable
and
member.
we need them to one, Mr. Speaker, before we can
Honorable
proceed.
member.
No other business will be taken.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, this was agreed upon. The people are demonstrating. CSOs are demonstrating. Parliament cannot go on without illegality. You don't have the numbers. We will not agree. We don't have the numbers. Mr. Speaker, we will not control that. Speaker, I take a strong exception.
Honorable members, before us. There is nothing before us. Table, please call the bell to be rung. Table, please call the bell to be rung. But before then, let me take question 2138. Honorable Jifagomeshi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture the status of the reorganization of Hotel, Catering and Tourism Training Institute.
Respectfully, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Hotel, Catering and Tourism Training Institute, HOTCAT, was established in 1991 by the Government of Ghana to train personnel to deliver services for the Non-Aligned Movement Conference held in 1991. Given the emphasis placed on the tourism sector as a drive for socio-economic and environmental development, the government decided to maintain the institute to train a pool of personnel to work in the tourism and hotel industry after the conference. Speaker, in furtherance to this objective, government sought equipment, books, resource persons from the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the International Labour Organization, ILO, to train lower and middle level students in hotel, catering, and tourism services, focusing on the admission of junior and senior high school leaders. Speaker, some graduates from tertiary institutions had also been trained in the field of food production, housekeeping, food and beverage services, tour guiding, tour operation, and front desk services. Speakers, the underlying objective for the establishment
Who has put his mic on? Yes, Minister, go.
Speaker, over the years, the underlying objective for the establishment of HOTCAT appears to have eroded due to a number of reasons, including the loss of focus in the training of students, lack of qualified instructors, poor curriculum content, low budgetary allocation from the government, poor teaching materials and poor equipment and learning environment. Speaker, given the challenges being faced by HOTCAT, the ministry in 2008 decided to restructure HOTCAT by ceding the institute to the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. A memorandum of understanding was signed between MOTAC, that's the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, and GIMPA, covering academic, administrative, and financial management of Hotcat and the Eridec Hotel in Koforidua. Speaker, the assets of Hotcat and Eridec and staff were transferred to GIMPA. However, the MOU was abrogated in 2010 based on the recommendations in the report produced by a technical committee set up by the ministry. Speaker, at the 39th meeting held on Monday, 17 December 2012, the Cabinet considered and approved the memorandum from the Ministry for the restructuring of HOTCAT, a wholly public tourism and hospitality institute, into a national tourism and hotel training institute on a public-private partnership basis. Critical components of the restructuring, which is still ongoing, is the focus on making the institution a self-financing, self-sustaining entity, producing professionals with the requisite knowledge, skills, attitude, and competence for the tourism industry. Speaker, during the past 3 years, the Institute has successfully graduated 217 across various courses, demonstrating a commitment to providing quality of education in the hospitality and tourism sector. Speaker, in 2021, 15 males and 32 females. In 2022, 21 males and 47 females. And in 2023, 40 males and 60 females graduated from the institution. Speaker, on 2nd April 2024, a memorandum of understanding was signed between HOTCAT on behalf of the government of Ghana and the Kenya Italy College to collaborate in the areas of curriculum development, education, training, research, and exchange. And this collaboration between the two institutions will take off in earnest from July this year. Speaker, indeed, a technical committee has been set up to work on community engagement and practical training, job skills development, curriculum revision, infrastructure upgrades, and faculty development. These are the steps that we are taking to ensure that HOTCAT is revived to provide the needed services for the tourism and tourist sector in Ghana. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Are you taking a second question or you are asking supplementary question?
A supplementary question.
Supplementary question.
Just one.
Come again?
Just one supplementary question, and then I'll move to the other question.
Okay, if the 10 minutes is not up.
Well.
Yes, ask your supplementary question.
Honorable Minister, the skill sets that you indicated in the answer, they are very and I know that it's an ongoing process. But I see if I put it against the number of students that you are turning out, then the impact really cannot be felt in the industry. This is one of the industries in which low-hanging fruits can be got for the young people in our country. And that's why I'm asking, what steps do you think we should take together to ensure that, one, that the numbers that are coming to the school increase? If they are advertised, can we increase the spaces in which we advertise them? And three, how do we let the training that you have indicated here spread across the country? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, indeed, that is very true, that the numbers that are being churned out are low, considering the number of people that are required to be trained to service the sector. In that regard, we're looking to deepen the collaboration that we have under the MOU that we signed with Italy College to improve the facilities at HOTCAT to enable them to train more personnel. Speaker, we are also reviewing some private sector proposals that we've received to get the private sector also set up some training facilities that can complement the work that HOTCAT is doing to train more personnel to service our tourism sector. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, indeed, that is very true, that the numbers that are being churned out are low, considering the number of people that are required to be trained to service the sector. In that regard, we're looking to deepen the collaboration that we have under the MOU that we signed with Italy College to improve the facilities at HOTCAT to enable them to train more personnel. Speaker, we are also reviewing some private sector proposals that we've received to get the private sector also set up some training facilities that can complement the work that HOTCAT is doing to train more personnel to service our tourism sector. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker.
Question 2142.
2142, but Honourable Minister, whilst you are listening to 2142, may I suggest that you think about providing this August House with a copy of the agreements that you mentioned with the institute, with Kenya Utali College, if you can make a copy of the agreement available. So I also continue to ask my question, Mr. Speaker, 2142, which is to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture the status of the other tourism sites that the World Bank is supported to rehabilitate. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, in 2018, $440 million credit facility was extended to the government of Ghana by the World Bank with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture as the implementing agency. Speaker, this agreement was signed in December 2018 and commenced operations in February 2019. Speaker, it was a 5-year project and was expected to have closed in September 2023. Speaker, the project development objective was to improve the performance of leisure tourism in targeted destinations in Ghana. Among other components, the development of the public tourism sites fell under Component 2 of the Ghana Tourism Development Project, GTDP. Speaker, accordingly, the GTDP zoned Ghana into 2 respective halves and has developed 2 key documents to guide the development of tourism in Ghana. They include the Northern and the Southern Sector Master Plans. Speaker, as part of the project implementation plan, several public sites, including the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, the Kintampo and Wee Waterfalls, the Akomufie Historical Museum, and the Bonrid Kente Museum, among others, have been developed. Speaker, consultancy works for the development of 5 iconic sites, namely the Cape Coast and Elmina Castles, the Shai, Mole, and Kakum National Parks, have also been completed, awaiting funding for actual construction of work to be undertaken. Speaker, works on the Accra and Kumasi amphitheaters have also commenced and are expected to be completed by the end of Q1 2025. Speaker, finally, the Heroes Heritage Park, in honor of the founding fathers of Ghana, also referred to as the Big Six, is expected to be built under the program here in Accra. And owing to the good performance of the GTDP, the World Bank is in consultation with the government to undertake some more tourism projects with additional funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, my follow-up question to this response or the answer given by the Minister is to ask whether the $40 million facility that was given to the sector, whether it's been exhausted and whether it has achieved its aim. Did you get me? I was asking, this $40 million facility, has it achieved its aim?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Speaker, yes, it's been completed, and I believe that to all intents and purposes, the bank is satisfied with the implementation of the project. And so, yes, it achieved its aim. Thank you.
Well, Honourable Member, take the last question. Your last question.
I rise to ask the Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture the total amount realized from the 1% tourism levy since its inception and how the funds have been utilized. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Speaker, the establishment of the Tourism Development Fund under the Tourism Act 2011, Act 817, marked a pivotal moment in Ghana's strategic approach to tourism development. Speaker, the TDF was designed to provide a reliable and sustainable funding source to support various tourism growth and enhancement aspects, including tourism marketing and promotion, capacity building, market research and development of tourism infrastructure, development and promotion of other entrepreneurial activities, tourism export trade-oriented activities of institutions, and tourism education and training. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of the TDF presented an opportunity for Ghana to harness its tourism potential through structured and well-funded initiatives. Mr. Speaker, the source of the fund, as specified in Act 817, include seed capital from the government, 1% tourism levy payable by patrons of tourism enterprises in Ghana, donations and grants, monies earned by the operation of any project enterprise, finance from the fund or investment, and other monies that the Minister of Tourism, in consultation with the Minister of Finance, may determine with the approval of Parliament. Speaker, it is worth mentioning that the 1% tourism levy is currently the main source of funding for the Tourism Development Fund. Speaker, the status of the collection are as follows. In 2012 and 2013, the amounts collected were 3,209,878.81 pesos. In 2014, 5,180,038 cedis and 90 pesos. In 2015, 8,762,349.54 pesos. Speaker, in 2016, the fund generated 10,554,633.89 pesos. In 2017, 11,675,900.51 pesos. 2018, 15,023,000 cedis, 893.15 pesos. Speaker, in 2019, 18,164,605.11 pesos. 2020, it generated 10,640,867.42 pesos. In 2021, 15,189,628.66. Speaker, in 2022, generated 24,243,459.97 pesos. And then in 2023, it is generated 41,108,784.46. Mr. Speaker, between January and April 24, it has generated 14,849,396.89, making it a total for the period 2012 to April 2024, 178,594,727 cedis and 31 pesos. Speaker, uses of the funds from 2012 to 2016 was used to support industry, purchase vehicles, 17 Toyota Hilux pickup vehicles, 2 Honda Accord saloon vehicles, 1 Toyota Corolla vehicle, 1 Land Cruiser, training and capacity building for industry players, which was facilitated by GATOF and was held in Accra and Cape Coast. Speaker, between 2017 to date, it's been used for marketing and promotion of tourism consistent with the provisions of the Act, participation in international tourism exhibition and fairs. We've acquired land also in Fufu, So, Shama, Budu, and Gumwa Asen as part of the land bank activity that the tourism authority is embarking upon. Speaker, we renovated some tourist attraction sites, including the Kintampo Waterfalls, the Tafi Atomi Monkey Sanctuary, the expansion of Odiewanma paragliding takeoff site, Tetekwashi Cocoa Farm and Exhibition Center, Anumabo Heritage Garden and Information Center, Bunsu Ecotourism Sites, Nzulezu Receptive Facility, the Bonrie Museum. Speaker, some of the events that have been organized to promote tourism in Ghana includes the hosting of the World Tourism Forum in October 2017 for the first time in Africa, the maiden edition of the Ghana Tourist Investment Forum in Accra on 20th February 2018, Women in Tourism Summit that was held in 2018 and 19, and the West Africa Integrated Travel Forum, which was held in February 2018. Speaker, some of the funds have also been used to renovate the Ghana Tourism Authority offices in Ashanti, Koforidua, and also Savannah region. Some vehicles have also been purchased, the Bone Shaker City Tour Bus, staff buses, 2 of them, Toyota Fortuner vehicles, 2 of them, saloon cars, 14 of them, and pickup vehicles, 7. Speaker, some projects have also been undertaken with the fund, Destination Single Window, the Visit Ghana app, creation of information desk at Kotofa International Airport Terminal 3, creation of first ever industry call center, rehabilitation and expansion of the Accra Tourist Information Center, Elmina Beach Tourism Project, Accra City Tours. Speaker, on capacity building, the nationwide tour guides training in 2018 was organized by the Ghana Tourism Authority. The nationwide informal sector training in 2019 by the Ghana Tourism Authority. Presently, there are also ongoing projects in Pikoro Slave Camp, where we're doing a construction of a 5-seater washroom. The Tano Boase construction of a 5-seater washroom and information center.
Honorable Minister, I hope you are winding up your question.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'm winding up.
The time is up, and Mr. Speaker,
Chechere construction.
Right Honorable Speaker will take the chair and he will proceed from the rest of the.
Honorable Minister, you may conclude.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Speaker, Denchira Chechere, we're also constructing an information center there, redeveloping the Geese Park here in Accra. The Nationalism Park is also being redeveloped, and also some work is ongoing at the Salaga Slave Market. Speaker, I believe that the accounts of GTA as a public institution is regularly audited by the Auditor General, and all the details have been duly furnished to this House in accordance with law. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member, any supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, from the Minister, what the acquisition of the lands are for. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Speaker, there are land banks that have been acquired for tourism development, potential tourism development. Thank you.
Honorable members.
I have no further supplementary questions. Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. My Deputy Speaker drew my attention to the fact that the issue of quorum was raised and the bell was rung and the 10 minutes had passed, and so we may have to suspend sitting. Yes, you want to say something?
Well, Right Honourable Speaker, I shudder to appear to be challenging your decision, but I wanted to plead to just bring in one supplementary question, since nobody has asked a question after this particular question.
What was the agreement? Is this constituency specific?
No, it's a national question.
It's a national question. And so you agree that people should ask supplementary questions?
Yes.
If that is the situation, definitely. We can't deny you the opportunity.
It's
Yes.
9 minutes. 9 minutes now.
You may go on. Yes?
Just as my colleague pleaded for him to be considered after the 10 minutes has elapsed, I also want to plead that you give me 1 minute when he is permitted to ask his follow-up to just do one business, after which the 10 minutes can then take effect. You are pleading. I'm making my pleadings. I'm making my pleadings. So I would respect to your office.
Honorable Minister, you are discharged. I proceed to suspend proceedings for how many minutes? Honorable, I am going by the rules. Am I out of order?
Speaker, not at all. Speaker,
Well,
you are in
who am I?
order. Carry on.
The rules say I should suspend sitting for some time. If we are not able to get the quorum, we come back and adjourn.
Yes.
So that is what I'm going to do. But I wanted to know for how long the suspension.
Speaker, that is your discretion. If I may suggest, an hour should be okay.
Honorable members, 1 hour is on the high side.
1 hour.
Honorable members, the Majority Chief Whip is quite in order. Because if you look at the standing orders, 64D, it says if there is still no quorum, suspend the sitting of the House for a period of not more than 1 hour. So that is the limit, not more than 1 hour. So now we have to decide within that. I hear some people proposing 30 minutes. He says 1 hour. So we compromise.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I think today is Friday. And we have also decided to sit on Monday. So it is important we give colleagues opportunity to visit their constituencies, come back on Sunday instead of Monday. So I'll plead with the Majority Chief with maximum 20 minutes.
we come back. We take, then you
No,
can make...
we're talking about between 30 and 1 hour. Now you have come down to 20 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, 30 minutes will not change anything. So we can compromise for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaker, I will accede to his call. But he should look into my eyes. Oftentimes, when he makes his application, I accede. And let him take a cue from that. When I also make my application, please do accede. And don't be stiff.
This reminds me of the advice we received in 1994 from the then president, and then later 1998, the same advice. 1994, we had a very dominant party in a progressive alliance, and that party was the NDC. Out of the 200 members, it had 198. Then the second parliament, there was a dominant party, the NDC again, with 3 minority parties, one being the New Patriotic Party, 61 votes. Then the PNC and CPP, they made up the 6. So the opposition was 67 against 133. And his advice was that when you are in government, you are the father of the nation. And so you must be very tolerant and receptive to criticisms. And so that is what made Justice Annan to sometimes give 2 days for Honorable J.H. Mensah to make his submissions. And then the minority vociferous majority will sit quiet and just be talking that all this will go to nothing. You can win the vote, the debate, but you lose the vote. And that happened throughout. So I understand why you are trying to be tolerant, but you need to do something more. But this one is a hung parliament. But anytime I look at your back, your able supporters are not there. And then you are facing a rather populous minority. That doesn't augur well for the government. And I think you have to tell your colleagues. Because I always see those who attend. But the majority of them, we just see the seats. That's not correct. We have to assert our authority as a parliament. You see, now your voice can come out. Yes, so we'll just take...
With respect, my colleagues, if you may just indulge me a minute. You see, the Speaker is giving us advice. The Speaker, on this side, per the structure of government, 2/3 appointment comes from Parliament. You see, so we are working for them. We are actually working for them. A number of them are ministers, deputy ministers, who are working for you. So you should be tolerant.
Actually, draw the attention of the government to the fact that our new standing orders say that for any member of parliament to engage in any other business, apart from parliamentary business, excepting the ministers, must receive a permission from the Speaker. We still have a lot of your members on boards. Some are even chairing boards, and some are even heading state institutions without my permission. If I start referring them to the Committee on Privileges, I shouldn't be blamed. I'm aware of that. This is a very wild allegation. It may not be the member, it may be a company, which is a different legal personality from the member himself. That's why I said this is a wild allegation. Yes. Please, honorable members, let's take the adjournment. I'm told for 30 minutes, and then a suspension for 30 minutes. Then we come back. Maybe by then we'll have the numbers to proceed with business. The House is sitting is accordingly suspended. Honorable members, you are welcome. Clerk at the table. What is the number now? Honorable members, after the suspension and on resumption of the sitting, quorum has still not been achieved. In the circumstances under Order 64.5, I have to adjourn the House without putting the question. 64.5 says, if on resumption of the sitting there is still no quorum upon the conduct of a head count, the House shall stand adjourned till the next sitting day without question being put. I directed the clerk at table, and she's done the head count, and still there's no quorum. So the House stands adjourned.